Good morning. If you want to see how we overhaul this camping table, turned it into a portable work table, stay tuned. We fixed the top, we added a bottom shelf, we upgraded the bracing. So if you want to see how we did all that, stay tuned because that's what we're going to do now. Good morning and welcome to another Memphis Monday, Memphis Monday 352, our 40th week of year 7. Today we got another 10,000 year guarantee return. We had the top kind of fallen off of a cedar table we built in Memphis Monday 135, and so I took it back. There's some other features I don't like about it, so we're going to overhaul the whole thing. But we're not going to get anything done until we fix our sound system from last week, which I think I did. Now the problem with this, I got one of these little transmitter boxes and all that. Problem with it is you hear those old man breathing noises and all that clicking and popping and grunting that I do. So I don't know if this is as bad as that other system from last week where you couldn't even hear me. But let's knock off the chit chat and try to get something done. This is the table, the cedar table I built for my buddy about 4.5 years ago. And one of the boards came off. Well, obviously I wouldn't have to bring it back to the shop to fix that. We could fix it on site, or, he could fix it. But there's other things about this table I don't like. You notice how, look at this. Well, it's a camping table, and that's fine. You're not going to sit on or stand on or anything like that. And you want it light and flex and foldable. But this is too excessive for me. And notionally, this is how this table is supposed to work. You grab a hold of the legs, and they lift up like this, and then there's a little locking mechanism right back here. I'll show you a close-up of that. See, there's this little oak piece of wood here that locks into place. Let me close it down a little bit. Okay, now I'm closing it, and now when I open it, it comes up, and that piece of wood will spring in there and lock it. Well, it locks it, but look how flimsy it is. So I don't like this. This is clever. I even thought of it. It's clever, but not in love with it anymore. And I like things with a long guarantee. And what happens with this wood here on the other side, this wood stopper here, is it's wood and it warps. And so this stopper here doesn't work anymore. See, it's supposed to be sprung over there like that and locking it, but the wood is warped. So the stopper's got to go. And another sin this thing has is put this top on with the boards on with pocket hole screws. Well, the problem with them is they don't go far enough into this wood to hold these boards on. And they don't make it durable enough, obviously, because that one down there at the end fell off. Here's another camping table I built for myself. It's along the same lines, but the idea here is that the legs tilt back far enough, it's not as unstable. And also I have some thumb screws that you can tighten on each leg to stabilize it. But still, this thing is still not very stable. You can see, still not very stable. And if you push it, you know, if you slide it at all, I mean, you could, the whole table could just fall over. See? Let me show you how I fixed the problem on this table. So I tried to be clever and fix this problem, but I wasn't able to. So I came up with this brute force solution here, which is a crossbar that is angled the same on the ends, and it's got hanger bolts that fit into slots. And then you can just tighten them down. I'll show you the rig. So here's the scheme. These hanger bolts come out of the end of this brace, and then you just tighten it down. And that takes away all the shakiness of the table. So now I have a table that's perfectly stable, doesn't rock, can't fall over. So that's the scheme I'm trying to come up with for our project today, something like this. Here's the scheme I've come up with to fix the boards. I think I'm just going to put dowels along the top. For the stabilizing the legs, I'm going to invent a removable bottom shelf here. It'll be attached with the hanger bolts just like we saw in the prototype there. And that scheme there, that should stabilize the legs. It's going to add utility because now you can have a shelf. And importantly, this piece right here is going to be too big to lose. If you just have a single bar across there, you're going to lose that over time. But if you have this shelf, if you take this table up and down, this thing's less likely to get lost. And it also assembles easily. So let's get to work on this. I was prouder than I should be of these locking mechanisms. But you got to learn, if something doesn't work, it doesn't work. You know, sometimes we hold on to ideas that we've thought of. We hold on to them because human nature kicks in. You know, if this was somebody else's idea, we'd be perfectly willing to say it was broke. But if it's our idea, we don't say anything. And in that case, you never grow. First step is to install these. This is some cherry. Install these wider brackets here. This is the size of the old one. These are going to be much wider. This is 3.5 inches. And I want this shelf to be level. So what I've confirmed here by placing my level, that's perfectly level right there. And so when I cut my notches, I'll use the bottom one down here as a reference. What I'll do here is cut this notch about 3.5. And then I have the stock that I'm gonna make the brace out of it already cut out. And then we'll just walk it in till it perfectly fits. Should work pretty good. Now I want this thing to fold up flat, which means I'm going to have to put a notch in the frame here, and I'm going to cut out the middleman and just mark it. This is the kind of the standard way to put notches in about anything. You just cut across the grain and then you just chip it out with a chisel. The critical alignment point for these braces is in the down position because the legs have to clear the frame. So I'm actually installing the braces in the down position. And I'm using Cedar, and the stuff cracks like crazy. Building the shelves in place here, what you just saw me doing on the saw was cutting this 9-degree angle because I want this framework for the shelf to be level here, but at this the angle of the legs. Now the other side over there is a 7-degree angle, so I gotta cut the other brace now. Instead of using those slots I showed you on the example, now we're just going to put these braces in with bolts. Okay, I got the frame in here. What I'm gonna do now is take the frame out. I got it temporarily screwed. I'm gonna take the frame out and see how easy it is to get the frame back in again. Well, it's coming out pretty easy, but I suspected that. I think the hard part's going to be putting it back together. Let's go ahead and get these other fasteners in it. I'm going to hold these corners together using here's what they look like. These are the screws. If you have a cabinet you need to install against the wall, you drive these into the stud, and then that big head on there holds the cabinet to the wall. Now this is the part of the process I think might be hard. Trying to line up these holes. This is the M1 alignment tool. Well, there's our little brace slash shelf. The table, of course, now is, you can stand on it. It's really solid. I'll hold these boards in. I cut out these cedar and pine boards, alternated them, and I'm gonna put those in with deck screws. Then we gotta start working on the top. The first thing I've already started, and that is to fix that broken board. And then we got to figure out some way to attach this top where it won't come off. Here's the glue up for that broken board. It was a clean break, and it didn't even have any splintering. So the way to fix that, and this is astonishingly effective, you just put glue on that edge and clamp the two together, and since it just comes right back together, and a lot of times you can't even see the joint. Okay, let's go ahead and attach that shelving material to the brace, and we'll be on a roll. I attached these boards to the frame here, and then put a little stain mix. This is basically just a container of stain. I've mixed a bunch of colors together. I don't think I'm going to polyurethane or put anything. I think I just might put some teak oil or something on it. And over here on the top, I just ran stainless steel screws to hold the top on. You can see the gouge marks and stuff, and paint can marks and all that stuff. This thing's being used as a work table, so, you know, I don't think these stainless steel screws mar the finish. And here's that glue up I showed you just a few minutes ago. You can see this was the crack right along here. And unless you knew it was there, you wouldn't even notice it. And since we're running out of time and nobody likes my long videos, I jumped ahead a little bit because I want to break this thing down to parade rest and see how long it takes to build the thing back up again. The great notion is that we can take this inner shelf and store it in here. Pretty neat. Okay, if it's a portable table, it should be easy to assemble. So we're going to see how long it takes to assemble. Well, just as I suspected, lining up those holes is not as easy as it should be. But the final result is a very strong table. So I don't know if it's going to be worth the effort. Well, I guess this is going to do it for Memphis Monday 352. Got our little portable work table. Well, there she is. The top is fixed. It's now got the little brace and shelf put in there. It looks like the legs need to be adjusted, but other than that, it's really stable. So I think I think my buddy's going to get a lot of use out of this, because I think he can actually use this in his shop. Well, that does it for Memphis Monday 352, week 40, our 7th year. Today, I guess the biggest takeaway is, you know, sometimes you come up with great ideas and they really seem clever, but then after there's factors you haven't thought about, like time, that warped those little clips that held the legs out. Over time, that wood, it's going to warp, and so the clips don't work. Well, so you know, you got to be pretty ruthless about that stuff, and don't just let human nature keep you going down the wrong path, like Yogi Bear says. When you come to a fork in the road, take it. Okay, so can't think of anything else. like, share, favorite, and all the stuff you do on the internet. But most important, make sure you're back here next week for another exciting Memphis Monday. Thanks for playing along.